There's devastation tonight in the impoverished island nation of Haiti. 10 people have been killed there in the wake of Hurricane Matthew. Catastrophic damage to infrastructure on the southern part of the island. A key bridge wiped out, roads washed away, 15,000 people displaced. And tonight we are joined by an expert on the situation in Haiti. Brian Concannon is the director of the Institute for Justice and Democracy in Haiti. Brian, thank you so much for joining us.
Well, thanks for having us, and thanks for talking about Haiti.
So what's the update right now on the situation and just how bad it is there?
We don't know how bad. The biggest update is that there is no news. In fact, the publisher of Haiti's largest newspaper just tweeted that out, that the worst news is that there is no news. For much of the hardest hit areas in the south of Haiti, the road's been cut off. We heard it just opened up about half an hour ago, but the communications over telephone lines and internet have been very bad, so we just don't know. What we do know is that there are at least tens of thousands of people who are homeless, that there's widespread devastation of crops, and so people are losing their livelihoods.
And this is harvesting time for them.
It's harvesting time for a lot of the crops, and others that are in the fields, and they were counting on that for food 2 or 3 months out from here. In terms of the death toll, 10 is certainly not the last number. Typically, with this kind of rainfall, you get hundreds or even thousands of killed. We're hoping that the government's efforts to evacuate people and to control has kept that far below, but it will be above 10, and we're not going to know the full toll for several days.
Why is Haiti in particular so vulnerable to these types of natural disasters?
Whenever a hurricane goes through the Caribbean and hits Haiti, Haiti always has many more deaths than anywhere else, often 10 to 100 times more than all the other countries combined. And it's a combination of two things. One, deforestation. There's been centuries of deforestation, and so when the water hits the mountains in Haiti, it comes down very quickly. It's not absorbed by the forest. The second thing is really governance. It's the fact that Haiti's had such political instability that you don't have the government structures to prepare by putting in drainage, but also to do rescue and warning operations, the immediate preparation for the hurricane.
Yeah. And of course, this is on top of the cholera outbreak there. UN workers caused that when they were there in the aftermath of the earthquake trying to help. What is your fear about how Matthew could exacerbate that situation?
When you see the pictures of all that muddy water going through streets and coming down mountainsides, I'm thinking that's got cholera bacteria in it. Everybody's expecting that there's going to be a huge spike in cholera. We hope it isn't at the level of 2010 where you had hundreds of dying every week, but we are afraid it's going to be at least in the hundreds are going to die in the next few months from that, which brings the urgency of putting in the cholera infrastructure, the clean water and sanitation infrastructure you need to stop the next epidemic.
People want to help here in the States. What can someone do? Is it money? Is it food? What would you recommend to someone who just sees this and wants to help? What would they do?
What people on the ground are saying is don't send food right now. Don't send things, send money, because the money is, there are things you can buy in Haiti. You can buy food, you can buy building materials, and that it's best to keep the Haitian economy going by sending money to organizations. The people that I've been hearing from in Haiti, they're saying the money is best if it gets to grassroots groups, if it gets to people who are on the ground who really know the problem, or with international groups that work very closely with grassroots groups. My suggestions to people who want to help is to do a little bit of research. Don't send a check right now, but do a little research to make sure the groups are accountable to the Haitian people, that they have a good track record, and that they are going to do something that is really going to make an impact on the ground.
We want to make sure that people can get a link to your organization. So for more information about Haiti Justice or how you can help, you can go to our website, cbsboston.com, and we'll have that information there. So you recommend maybe a month from now? That might be a good idea.
You know, even in a few days. There's a lot of things that are unknown, and over the next few days to a couple weeks, there's going to be a pretty clear idea of what the needs are. So I would even say, you know, on Friday, Saturday, or the beginning of next week, that would be a good time to check out. And we're going to put up some things on our website, which is www.ijdh.org. We'll put up some resources for people who are interested.
Brian Concannon, thank you so much. And speaking of Matthew, we want to get the latest track from Eric right now.